Welcome to another episode of how I made my second album series. In this episode I'm going to tell you how I wrote the song Aftermath. It's a really interesting song because, well, I basically started writing the song with the idea of the tapping line that is outro of the song, or that's how I got started with the songwriting session for this song. But like the core and the solo part of that song is also, it's basically built around the Finnish folk song melody, or having influences from there, and then adjusting it to a minor blues chord progression, and then building up a beat or electric beat, and to give some sort of rhythm for that part of the song, and some like synth bass. And besides that, it has some really heavy distorted guitars, like 7-string guitars, and I chose the key because of that. So, but how I came up the idea for the solo or using like those things? Well, basically, it all started from a guitar lesson that I had. We were talking about how to color up the minor blues chord progression with the like really exotic sounding scales, or like upper structure of the chord, so to color up the solo playing as well. So I thought that it would be a really cool idea to actually write a song where I use these things that I learned during the lesson. So I had an idea to write a song in that minor blues chord progression and make it sound like me. So I decided to experiment with that electric beat that I mentioned. So then that's basically how I came up with the backing track for the song, or yeah, that's how I came up with the backing track idea for the song. And for the solo, I just tried to think more like a gypsy jazz player or jazz player in general. Like, okay, I have to play the solo around those chords and use some chromatism and different kind of things to make it sound like really interesting. And the recording of that solo, it was probably the hardest one. I spent days to actually get it right, that solo, and it was totally worth it. And then I had to like glue the whole song together somehow. So for that I decided to start with really clean intro for that song, because then I have a really interesting contrast in the song as well. So I decided to use my favorite reverb preset from Kemper. It was called Aftermath. So I used that preset and played some chords around the actual blues chord progression, but really didn't use the progression itself. So it was, I just decided to improvise around the chords of that scale where the song is, and then put together some other guitar lines around that. So I had like really clean sounding and really beautiful intro for the song. Then it all gets a lot heavier with the distorted progression and the melody. It's actually from the song Soittaja Paimen, which is the Finnish folk song. I used that melody as a really heavy influence for the song. And then I decided to put most of the harmony away for the solo part, to give me more freedom to choose how to color up the progression, the note choices. And after that we still go back to the heavy part of the song, and then back to the like really weird outro tapping, which was a little experiment to just put the song, really interesting and weird song together. And that's why I really enjoy this, even though the solo it's really hard on this one. Actually, I feel like it's the hardest solo on this album. So I hope you enjoy this song.